Nzinga's Nation. I'm your host, Nzinga. Today I'd like to talk about my book. I have a brand new book. It's called Life Through Poetry, a surrogate voice. The reason why it's a surrogate voice, that is because I have put myself in the feet of those who are suffering in various situations, from the abused woman to the single mother to the child soldier over in Africa that has been kidnapped since the age of 6, and so on and so forth. I have chosen these particular topics, especially that of the child soldier, because of the atrocities going on in Africa. And not just in Africa, but in many different other countries. You have a lot of children, Asian, whether they be Asian, Europeans, Africans, South Americans, etc., who have been kidnapped and forced into slavery, whether it be sexual slavery of labor or, like I said, child soldiers. This is an epidemic that I believe needs to stop. As far as the other subjects that I have chosen, such as the domestic violence, single mothers and stuff like that, these are just situations of today's society. These are sad realities of our society today. And some may say that my poetry is dark, but I like to think of it as realistic. There are many subjects that are pushed under the rugs of our societies, and many people suffer from it because no one wants to voice it. I guess I can compare the situation of the child soldiers, or the genocide for that matter, most recently in Rwanda, in Sierra Leone, in Uganda, in those places, as the one of the apartheid some years ago, where people knew what was going on in South Africa. They just chose to keep their mouth shut. And so it was literally a case of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Well, I say no more. And I joined the ranks of Emmanuel Chao, Ishmael Bia, and Miriam Makeba, who said no more. We have to put these ugly situations up on the map for us to come together as a race if we really are going to call ourselves the human race. So this book in particular, I took a special interest in the child soldiers and the trafficked children and the sexually enslaved children and women, for that matter, of wars, victims of war. Particularly because I believe that we are all linked some way, somehow in this world, and that if something affects someone, it should affect all of us, or at least that's how it should be. Now, this book, Life Through Poetry, A Surrogate Voice, Volume 1, I have written it and I published it, and all proceeds of that book goes towards a foundation that I call Mama Nzinga, As Crianças da Mama Nzinga. And it's a foundation that I'm creating to help those children. And this foundation will be, the headquarters will be in Angola, my country of origin in Africa, and the funds will be used to create a rehabilitation center. This rehabilitation center will help to rehabilitate these children psychologically, socially, and otherwise. My dream is to have these children come to that center and get detoxed from the drugs that they've been infused since the first day they were kidnapped. followed by psychoanalysis, followed by group counseling, family counseling, and as well as coupled with the traditional rehabilitations of whichever tribes or villages that they belong to, because let's not forget that what may work in the West may not work for other cultures. We must take into account that each culture has their own way of thinking and of doing things. And from there on, while they're being washed and rehabilitated and being given psychological care and medical care as well, of course, they will also receive such courses as parenting. They will take traditional school classes, and for those who are older, who are the age of working, or who have graduated to the point of going to college or learning a trade or whatever, they will be given that opportunity as well. So this is the structure that I want to put together, and I am counting on the proceeds of this book to do such things. And as far as the other subjects, well, of course, we'll have, like I said, parenting classes, we'll have domestic violence classes, and other types of things. And just to give you a taste of the poetry, I'm going to read 2 poems. The first one is entitled Wounded Heart. Before you could understand, from your mother's arms they came and yanked you away. Your father's cries, protests, and fights did nothing to chase them away. Purposely, of your values and memories they reprogrammed your mind. Suddenly, from your elders and loved ones, you mindlessly rebelled. They've stripped you of your identity just as they were violently stripped of theirs. You became an organized soldier before your first signs of puberty. Before your 20th, you were made to rape, kill, and impregnate. Soon, rape became both your weapon and your distorted idea of romance. Your childhood was left. In childhood is where you left roots, humanity, and innocence. For in childhood is where was planted the devious seed of violence. Little boy soldier, the horrific acts you committed were not your fault, your choosing, nor understanding. You blindly repeat them out of guilt and ignorance. I am the mother, the sister you raped and beat. I am the father, the elder whose own blood you forced to drink. I am the little brother you infested with the virus through my wife's rape. You ask yourself what you've done to deserve this. Truth is, this war, this hell, was never yours to carry, but yours to bury. You unknowingly unleash your hurts and pains on me. You recklessly and mindlessly repeat their atrocious crimes on your own family. Life, like the fire which momentarily burns your skin, the scars of your broken psyche still shows to testify your guilt years after you shamefully made your way back home. Little boy soldier, the war you're fighting is over. Please come home so that I may help you heal your broken heart. And this is a heartfelt dedication to the kidnapped military children of the world, wherever you may be. They all are angels. And then be the one who hurts a child. And I say that with all sincerity. The second piece is called Jaded Destiny. Kidnapped, beaten, raped, impregnated, rented, sold is the reality she lived before her first baby doll. Alone, frightened, abandoned, forgotten, rejected, cursed are the feelings she inherited while still in her crib. Abused, passed around, grown man, puppet, seduction, sex are the only skills she's ever been taught and allowed to cultivate. meek, faded, shunned, objectified, worthless, ugly are the adjectives she has used to describe her best assets as they were once tattooed in her brain. With such a harsh past, how was she to know that the day he put a ring on her finger, she was nothing but her newest sex slave at 15? As though she ever had a choice in the matter. While grown men carelessly make their words to prove the size of their dicks when things don't go as planned for their own to profit, I wonder if they ever stop to think of those caught in between their ridiculous conflicts. If their daughter or son was an instant victim, I wonder if they jumped into mindless wars so quickly. Yes, her destiny was jaded from the beginning. And this, of course, as you might have guessed, is dedicated to all the gentle little girls of the world that have been kidnapped, trafficked, enslaved, and prostituted, so on and so forth. Welcome to Nzinga's Nation. I'm your host, Nzinga.